Okay, hey guys, this is GameGeek2 with another battle, this time on my nice new PC, or laptop, whatever, and I'm playing as Everos, and my opponent is Nacrox. He's playing as Macedonia. This is on the 3.3 EDU, recently updated. Not much changed since the 3.2 EDU. I'll give you a quick rundown of the armies. He's brought 4 Asteroid Pesityroi and a regular Pesityroi unit. Several units of Kurapos, 1 Hetyroi, 1 General's unit, a unit of Atlantistai, Thrakiopiltastai, Thes Paspistai, Theriphoroi, Agrianians. I think he doesn't have all 20 units, but I'm not sure. I just fought this battle, so I have 20 units as always. I've got 2 Lonkophoroi, 1 Sphendonetai, 2 Cretan archers, 2 Hityros Bidophoroi, 1 Illyrian Theriphoroi, 2 Agrianians, 4 Boi, 2 Levi Phalanx, and 4 Pesityroi. Okay, you can see here I'm using a tactic, and I'm doing a trap on his units. Try to get his elite phalanxes to move forward here so I can trap them with my infantry. I move like this, but then I notice that he stopped moving forward, so I realize I have to go on the attack. And I see that since I have all my infantry here, this is a good moment to do so. So I move forward. And I like how this battle's moving fairly quickly, even though it takes a decent amount of time to finally resolve itself. At least for a mainly infantry battle, this went pretty long. Okay, you can see here. It's sort of a standoff, but I get in here really quickly. Punch up my pikes and start the attack. Over here it takes a bit longer to start. But over here, he slightly turns his phalanx so he can get in a flanking attack on me, which is a good idea. I don't think he foresaw what was going to happen. Meanwhile, he's advancing his royal guards on this flank. He's got a bunch of infantry, so I think he's not necessarily that concerned with this. But I move my Dituroi out of the way, so I can bring up a unit of King Getros to engage in melee on the flank of this unit. You can see how that goes. So I get in a point-blank javelin volley, which is always a good thing to do. Didn't kill that many, but got some. And you can see already this is kind of a mess. Because it's not a direct conflict, I can afford to bring in my Doturoi and not have them completely slaughtered by the much superior Historic Pesityroi. And I actually outnumber his Pesityroi 2-to-1 here. Because of my greater depth. You can see this. He brings up his Pesityroi, I put mine over there. I finally start my advance on this flank. And as he brings up his Pesityroi, I counter with my Boi, trying to catch him off guard. I don't throw javelins for this reason, but he sees it just in time, gets his thing down. So I try to retreat, then realize that this is not a good proposition, if I can get him at a decent angle. But I'd go for a javelin volley first. And you can see here that my Boi have just snuck in there, but unfortunately they're getting mauled by this phalanx on the side. That phalanx is getting hit by this one on the flank, so it's sort of working out. And over here I have a massive numbers advantage, so that's a good thing. You can see here that somehow it got disorderly, and so my Boi was somehow pinned to the ranks of that phalanx, which is pretty good. And you can see I have a huge numbers advantage on this front. Unfortunately, and I also have a good numbers advantage on this side as well. However, he has the quality advantage. He's 3 or 4 and much better than my Illyrians. Although my Boi King Getros can take his down very easily. But the real quality advantage, obviously, is with the Paspistai. Although I have matched up a Pearson unit up against them. Meanwhile, on the other side, the cavalry attack starts. I don't think this is a good angle to come in with cavalry. You really have to get in a heavy cavalry along this angle if you want to make that work. He doesn't have anything of the sort. However, he is wisely using a javelin attack. And you can see this is sort of a bloody angle. My boy, not getting much, but something is better than nothing, and my deep ranks are paying off here. Here, my Cretans get caught completely off guards and get overrun by his Tyro very easily. But he wastes some javelins, and his cavalry are now exposed to the rest of my missile attacks. I get to use these Tyro, and he doesn't get in a proper charge against this Bowie either. Although he does make them pretty much useless, at such that you reduce their numbers such that I won't be able to win. So I fire off a javelin and move in this reserve here, while I charge him out of However, he sees this coming, and gets him out just in time before he loses the entirety of his force, so I only hit 5 men down at that point. I have my Espadore over here, but I forget to pay attention to them, and so they end up pursuing these Curapos for a long time, so we're going to leave them aside for a while. Things are moving quickly. As I saw earlier, my numbers advantage is going to overwhelm this forward phalanx. This guy is getting ground down slowly again by a numbers advantage. And over here, a numbers advantage is working out well in my way as well. On the flank here, however, he's got in his Agrarians. I counter with mine. And in reserve, he has these Thracian Peltasts. Now, I'm not sure why he doesn't just try to go around and get good volleys on me. I think he might try to do this later, but certainly not enough time. He certainly could do with some support here, which is where he's going to get cracked. Even though the biggest concern is if I can bust through here. And then go from there. He gets my cavalry off guard with his Tyroy. Unfortunately, his Tyroy are sort of in this mess, but he takes out both my units of Lincoln which is a major blow. Takes out at least one unit. I think he gets both. But this is at the cost of his Tyroy. And some of his general unit. I don't know why he committed his general. Yeah, actually didn't really cost him very many general troops. He, however, does not charge these slingers. I have no idea why. These slingers end up surviving the whole battle and peppering him almost the whole time. So you can see how much damage it's causing. And it'll just get him up front with these slingers and do massive damage, whereas these guys should be undead. He does get rid of all my cavalry, but my various missile volleys have depleted his numbers enough such that his cavalry don't pose an immediate powerful threat. He goes over here, but my Hetairo Espadore returned from defeating the Curapos. And his shrunken units do damage, but not an incredible amount of damage. Especially doesn't angle all of his attacks the best, and these Agrarians are quite the resilient troops. Meanwhile, I broke through the center. Again, the numbers advantage is what did it. Over here, you see that's really what's killing him. And over here, you can see my Espadore mopping up some units. And giving me enough time to bring in my Hetairo. Looking at a grand view, my main concern really isn't that much at this point, except for the fact that he might individually route some of my units. He possibly could crack this Bowie unit. If he uses Thracians well, he could kill this unit off. Might be able to get this one if he acts quickly enough. And if I'm being stupid for long enough, he'll kill a lot of my Espadore off with his Agrarianicoi. see he's starting to beat some of my units off. He brings in his Thracians to fight. But I'm able to start putting phalanxes into this fight, which is really what seals the deal. I mean, it's going to go on for a while. And you're going to see some things like this, like his Thracians resisting my exhausted Spitaforae. But, the fact is, he's left with a bunch of isolated units at this point, rather than a strong cohesive fighting force. And while my units are kind of shambled around, he doesn't have enough cavalry to take advantage of that. See, it's kind of formulaic at this point. It's just kind of funny. He runs his Thracians through, but doesn't notice that there's a phalanx in the way, which is rather unfortunate for these men. He does, however, manage to kill off a lot of phalanxes, but he probably could have done much better if he was actually paying attention to his own troops. At this point, I think the battle was probably already lost for him, but you can't be sure of anything. He's still got these annoying generals to pester me. If something really bad happens, a rout will happen. That's not gonna happen, looks like. See, eventually cracks. Get some statistics. Loncophori did not do very well. Spitaforae did okay. The phalanxes, as you might expect, got a lot of kills. These units were mediocre, but they held off for long enough. And the slingers, that nice 52 kills number, should have been 0. Not 0, but very few if he had charged them with his Gauls and gotten them quickly. Then he might have had enough cavalry to take me out. Anyways, good game, well fought. Hope to bring you another one soon.